It's great to have you with us, Bob. Brent crude remains above $60 per barrel and is still near 2015 highs. What are the reasons behind from your point of view?
Well, also WTI closed above 54 in the U.S. session, so both of these important levels, just from a perspective of how long it's been since we've been at these levels. The idea that the OPEC and non-OPEC producers were somehow going to gracefully exit from this production cut when it was finally started to work is what I think the reason for the comments by the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia saying that no, he was hoping to extend the cuts. Again, they're finally starting to work. And that to me is the reason behind it. The pool of supply has finally started to drain, and this idea that they might exit out of the production cuts has finally gone out of the market again with the statements of Prince Mohammed bin Salman.
Some analysis warn that crude oil is overbought. Do you have the same opinion?
From a price action perspective, it's slightly overbought, but the path of this particular rally has not been that steep. It's just overbought based on the math formula of that particular indicator, and it can stay overbought for quite a long time. Having said that, the fundamentals in place the way they are and the price action that we've seen lately, again, getting above 54 and getting above 60, kind of argues for you to buy the dip if we do get a little bit of a sell-off. We can continue to be higher priced, and that overbought situation can turn to a neutral point from a price action perspective just by staying here and not really rallying much. We don't have to have a huge sell-off to cure that situation.
For Brent, how long do you expect it can stay above $60? And for WTI, how is the momentum going in short term?
Well, again, the momentum on both of those particular contracts is pretty sturdy. We've seen record exports out of the U.S., so I actually think that the price spread is going to compress a little bit, but Brent will stay above $60 for the short term. Again, we're doing this as we're coming out of the summer driving season in the U.S. The demand is continuing to gradually grow, and the supply is actually starting to slow. Again, when you look at the rig counts that we're seeing in the U.S., again, a trend of falling now. So we've got lower supplies coming in the near future out of the U.S., and the established lower supply out of OPEC and its non-OPEC partners. I think we can see both of those stay above those levels for quite some time.
With 3 central bank meetings this week and expectation of announcement from President Donald Trump on who will be the Fed chair and non-farm payrolls on Friday, how's your expectation? What is your expectation on the good performance?
Well, I think the key component to gold right now is going to be what's going on with these indictments with Special Counsel Mueller, Special Investigator Mueller, and the Trump administration. Trump is going to, at least has hinted that he's going to announce a Fed chairman, but we don't really expect that to be outside of the realm of favorable candidates like Jerome Powell and John Taylor. Both of those candidates favorable for the dollar, but not favorable for gold. You really have to look at this Trump-Russia collusion investigation to expect a spike out of gold. We saw a little bit of a spike today, a little bit of a pullback in the dollar earlier, but it's calmed down. It's not going to be the Fed announcements. And the Bank of England, as you mentioned, is probably going to tighten. All the strength in these currencies is bad for gold, but the Russia investigation, good for gold.
The value of the Bitcoin hit a new all-time high on Sunday, reaching 6,300 before settling down to somewhere around 6,100. How do you see the Bitcoin's currency trajectory?
Well, I think it's difficult to sell Bitcoin. Anyone who wants to short Bitcoin is probably not in the right game. You want to buy dips in Bitcoin as well as several other cryptocurrencies. You have to have some serious regulation and some serious interruption of not the blockchain technology, but Bitcoin specifically in order to stop the trajectory. Keeping in mind there's a limited supply of Bitcoin. So as the miners get more and more sophisticated, the cost to mine that Bitcoin becomes more expensive, by default raising the value of Bitcoin. So it's nearly impossible for Bitcoin to fall unless it gets replaced or shut down by regulation. Both of those could happen because there's tons of better technology out there, in my opinion, or combination of the use of blockchain than Bitcoin. But for the short term, Bitcoin's going higher.